Good day, brothers and sisters. I hope you're good. I hope you are still kept under God's mighty and merciful hand. Today I want us to discuss a different topic. I was reading the book of Joshua and just, reading the book and just trying to understand some of the details and some of the gospel truths from the book of Joshua itself. And I came across a part within the book where Joshua and the Israelites have conquered the east side of the Jordan River. They've crossed the Jordan River. Now they are camped in a place called Gilgal. And the people on the western side of the Jordan start to hear about how God has been with Israel, how God gave them victory in Egypt, and how God also gave them victory over the kings in the eastern part of the Jordan River, the Amorite kings, the two kings that the Israelites defeated, and how God has given them the land that they are in and how they will conquer and kill everyone in the land. And the Bible says there was a group of the Hivites that were in the midst of where the Israelites were camped. And these were the Gibeonites. Now, the Gibeonites heard that the Israelites were close. They were camping next to them, next to their town. And as a result, they tried to use deception as a means to escape. So the Bible says that they took old clothes. They took old sandals. They took bread and allowed it to dry up and have mold on it. They took old wineskins and filled them with wine. Obviously, the wine will be spilling out. And they journeyed to go and meet Joshua and the Israelites at the camp in Gilgal. And the Bible says when they got there, they told them that we have heard what God has done for you guys, and we know that God has given you guys this land, that you must conquer it, you must take it, and God has given you victory, for God is with you. This we have accounts and testimonies of. And the Bible says they went on to say, because now Joshua comes to a point where he wants to know, who are you guys? And they say, we come from a far, far place on the western side, and we just came here to say, can we please be your servants that can serve you guys? As you can see, we come so far that our clothes are torn. The bread that you now see was freshly baked from the oven when we left, and look how dry and moldy it is now. And these wineskins were brand new when we left, and now look how ragged and old they are. And the Bible said, they asked that, can we just please be your servants? Can we just please be your servants? We don't want war with you. Now, this is where the essential truth is. The Bible says the Israelites looked at the food, at the bread, they looked at the clothes, they looked at all these things that these people presented without consulting the Lord. And they made an oath with these guys to say, we won't kill you. And the Bible says this oath was kept. And when Joshua and the Israelites found out later that these people were actually living near and they had lied, and we're asking them, why did you lie to us? And they say, look, we were afraid that you guys were going to kill us. So we used deceptions as a means to get some form of protection from you guys. But all this happened because they did not consult with the Lord. Now, this actually applies to us when we do things without consulting the Lord, when we make oaths, long-term commitments without committing or without consulting the Lord. This is prevalent in terms of, God, which church do you want me to go to? Which career have you called me to? What is my calling in terms of ministry? But the most important one that I want to touch on is, God, is he or is she the one? Because one thing we know about men is that we look outwardly when God is the one who can see the hearts of men. So when we have to make a long-term decision with regards to the person that we want to spend the rest of our life with, whether it's a he or she, because we don't trust ourselves in terms of understanding and discerning the inward things of men, the inward thoughts and heart of men, we must go to the one who understands and who sees the heart of men to say, God, is he the one? We must consult with the Lord before an oath, because many of our brothers and sisters have been in relationships, even marriage, and this is where we speak of an oath. They've been in marriages where they did not necessarily consult the Lord in the initial phase. They were all in for tall, dark, and handsome, right? And that's what the ladies say. Or the brother was there because the sister can sing, and when she speaks, she says amazing things. But there was no consultation with the Lord. And as a result, we have lost some of our brothers and sisters in the faith. They are done with the faith. They are done with Christianity. They don't want to hear anything to do with God because of the relationships they were in. There was so much heartache. There was so much heartbreak. There was so much death and destruction of the soul and heart. There was so much pain that they experienced that when they got out of those relationships, and some are still in there, they decided that I don't want anything to do with God anymore. Why? Because they failed initially to not trust their own decision making, to not trust in their own intuitions, but go to the one who sees the heart of man. The Israelites made an oath that they could not break because they did not consult God. They went with the external appearance, and as a result, they were prone to deception. Many people that are deceived today, not only in relationships, but in these false churches or in anything that has to do with deception, many just go with what they see. They go with what their eyes perceive without consulting the Lord first, because the church that is discerning is a church that asks God, should I go there? There was nothing special about the Bereans. The Bereans were not intellectuals, but they understood the aspect of having to do what we call due diligence. After Paul speaks and preaches a powerful message, one thing they did, they went back and searched the scriptures. That's how we grow in discernment. Sometimes we think discernment is you feel intuition, there's a vibration that happens and, or God shows you a sign on heaven. But at times, and most of the time, discernment happens when we consult the Lord in His Word and in prayer. So before you do anything, before you commit in that long-term relationship, school, career, relationship, church, what does God say? Grace and peace.